Good afternoon. This is News Around the World and Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo Onireke, Ibadan. You can also listen live on www.pensioners1067fm.com. I am Wura Ola Olakomi. First, the top stories. NOA raises awareness on suicidal behavior. UN says 1 in 10 children worldwide living with obesity. And in sports, Shell says Super Eagles will keep fighting despite Bafana draw. Now the news in full. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, has raised awareness about suicidal behaviors among Nigerians. The Jigawa NOA Director, Mr. Ahmad Tijani, in his message to commemorate the 2025 World Suicide Prevention Day, stressed the need to raise awareness on suicide and break the stigma. Mr. Tijani noted that the agency joined the rest of the world to raise awareness, break the stigma, and remind Nigerians that suicide is preventable. He explained that every year, more than 720,000 lives are lost globally to suicide, with each loss deeply affecting families and communities. The director also urged people to listen with patience and without judgment, while also encouraging those struggling to seek professional help from doctors, counselors, or hotlines, and share information on where support can be found. Similarly, the Protection Gender Inclusion Focal Person, Red Cross Society of Nigeria, or your state branch, Mr. Kiyemi Makinde, has described open communication as first psychological approach to prevent suicide in the society. Mr. Makinde made this known while featuring on Pensioners FM Health Program Radio Clinic while speaking on this year's World Suicide Prevention Day. Speaking on the year's theme, Changing the Narrative on Suicide, Mr. Makinde called on people to challenge harmful myths, reduce stigma, and foster open, compassionate conversations around suicide.
Some individuals who has low coping capacity, when they feel like everything is at the end, feel like okay, it's just to commit suicide, and it might be due to traumatic experience, unbearable pain, loss of loved ones. All of those things can add up to reasons for them to say, I'm just going to die. Honestly, I think we all need to be more human than any other thing.
He also advised victims of suicidal thoughts not to give up on life, noting that seeking help and speaking up would help them overcome their emotional challenges. Mr. Makinde further called on government to intensify efforts to prevent cyberbullying and reducing suicide cases. The Federal High Court in Abuja has refused the bail request made by 5 alleged Al-Shabaab terrorists who allegedly attacked the Catholic Church in Owo Town, Ondo State, leading to the death of over 40 worshippers. Justice Emeka Nwite, who dismissed their bail application, held that the terrorism charges against them were capital in nature. The judge also held that they were accused of being members of a strong terrorist organization who may intimidate witnesses and influence and jeopardize the trial of the defendants before the court. Delivering a ruling on the bail application, Justice Nwite upheld the argument of the Department of State Services DSS that the evidence against the alleged terrorist was strong and cannot be glossed over. Justice Nwite also upheld the submission of the security agency that the 5 accused persons did not establish having credible sureties that can stand for them pending their trial. While granting accelerated trial, Justice Emeka Nwite fixed 19th of next month for commencement of trial. This is News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Now to other stories. The United Nations says the number of overweight and obese teenagers around the world has tripled in the last 2 decades. According to UN, the number of overweight children aged 5 to 9 years old has increased from 69 million to 7 million. It added that South Africa is one of the worst affected countries. Australian authorities are investigating a UN's influencer Mike Holston, who sparked controversy by filming himself trapping wild crocodiles in Queensland. Mr. Holston is under fire for two videos posted for his millions of followers online, one showing him wrestling a freshwater crocodile and another showing him manhandling a saltwater crocodile, one of the planet's deadliest creatures. Mr. Holston said he made the videos for educational purposes, but wildlife experts said his behavior was cruel. Queensland officials said the influencer's actions, which can attract fines of up to $24,776, are extremely dangerous and illegal. Nepal's army has deployed patrols on the streets of the capital, Kathmandu, as the Himalayan nation reels from its worst unrest in decades. Fierce protests against corruption and nepotism spiraled further yesterday into arson and violence. The country's Prime Minister Sharma Oli has resigned following the vandalization of politicians' homes, government buildings set ablaze, and parliament stormed and torched. However, the Gen Z group spearheading the protest have distanced themselves from the destruction, saying the movement has been hijacked by opportunist infiltrators. According to report today, the streets of Kathmandu appeared calm, but smoke was still rising from burning buildings and charred vehicles laid on roads. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk says a huge number of Russian drones violated the country's airspace during strikes in western Ukraine. Speaking ahead of an emergency meeting, PM Tusk said it was the first time Russian drones had been shot down over Poland. Meanwhile, Russia is yet to comment. In business news, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says Nigeria is positioning itself to become a global leader in the shea butter industry, following President Bola Tinubu's recent decision to temporarily suspend the export of raw shea butter. The announcement was made at the 20th Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria Northern Zonal Accountants Conference in Minna, where the minister was represented by the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Malam Jibrin Dase. Describing the move as both bold and strategic, the minister said the suspension would help transform Nigeria's role in the global shea butter supply chain. This is news around the world and Pensioners 106.7 FM. We will be back with a labor story. The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, suspended its strike following an agreement with the management of Dangote Refinery to recognize the workers' right to unionize. The deal was reached at a closed-door meeting convened by the Department of State Services, DSS, and attended by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and representatives of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC. Acting NLC General Secretary Benson Upa confirmed the outcome, while the Minister of Labour said it would issue a formal statement soon. The resolution followed a conciliation meeting convened by the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment on Monday after NUPENG threatened to embark on the strike over the company's initial refusal to recognize workers' union rights. This is News Around the World and Pensioners 106.7 FM. We will be back with entertainment and sports stories. In entertainment, American filmmaker Tyler Perry, best known for films like Acrimony and his popular Madea comedy series, is battling $260 million sexual assault lawsuit after actor Derek Dixon, who starred as Dale on Perry's BET drama The Oval, publicly detailed allegations of harassment and abuse. In an interview, Dixon claimed Perry created a coercive dynamic that blurred professional boundaries and left him fearing for his career. He alleged that Perry pulled down his underwear and grabbed his buttock at the producer's Atlanta home. Explaining the size of the damages, Dixon said the lawsuit represents both personal losses and a deterrent against abuse. In the world of sports, Super Eagles head coach Eric Shaw has said his side will not give up on their quest to secure a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Shell said they will keep fighting hard until the end despite their precarious position in the group. The three-time African champions suffered a big setback in their bid to make it to the Global Soccer Fiesta after battling to a 1-1 draw with South Africa in Bloemfontein yesterday. Nigeria remained in third position on the Group B log with 11 points from 8 matches. The Super Eagles will need to win their remaining 2 games against Lesotho and Benin Republic to have any chance of picking the World Cup ticket. To end the news around the world, here is the recap of the main stories. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, has raised awareness about suicidal behaviors among Nigerians. The United Nations has said the number of overweight and obese teenagers around the world has nearly tripled in the last 2 decades. In the world of sports, Super Eagles head coach Eric Shaw has said his side will not give up on their quest to secure a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. For any information, call us on 0802 237 3535, 0704 315 6453, or email us at pensionersnewsroom@gmail.com. You can also visit us at Oyo State Pensioners House at Barigo Onireke, Ibadan, and on www.pensioners1067fm.com. The news editor is Yetunde Oke. I am Wura Ola Olakomi. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.